Don't forget to leave a like if you're stopping by, and if you're new to Geekdom 101, remember to subscribe and enable all notifications so that way you don't miss a single video. We discuss all things Dragon Ball here, movies, anime, manga, and even some video games. We've been here for 10 years and many more to come. I thank you for your continued support. Let's get to the video. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video on this because I was going to discuss it on last Sunday's stream, but then I thought, you know what? Even though it's a couple days late, I still should do my breakdown of this. I want to talk about the recent financials because I'm kind of shocked as to how successful Dragon Ball is in spite of the obvious problems going on. So this document you see on your screen right here, I posted this on my X profile on the 30th, and it's Toei Animation's financial records for the past few years for Q3 domestic, which basically means like the third quarter of their fiscal year. If you don't know what that means, it's it's within the span of 3 months. And despite there not being an ongoing Dragon Ball anime, now Dragon Ball Daima is currently streaming. It's currently a weekly show, but it's only going to be 20 episodes. It's not like a longer series like Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super were. It's just like a sort of a short story. As I've said before, too long to be a movie, too short to be like a short story, even though it is kind of a short story. It doesn't have like an ongoing Dragon Ball like anime like what Super was a few years ago, and not even an ongoing manga. We haven't had a chapter of Dragon Ball Super's manga since, well, literally a year. March of 2024, right when the news came that Toriyama passed away, is when the last chapter was published. Now, we are already scheduled, and it's been confirmed now from Manga Plus and Viz, that February 19th of this coming 19th, which is in a couple weeks, we're going to get the next chapter of Dragon Ball Super, which is supposed to be the Clean God one-shot story with Goten and Trunks. I'm not too interested in that, to be honest with you, but I am still going to cover it because you never know, and it could be interesting, and why would I skip a chapter? So I'm going to be doing coverage of it when it comes out. And after that, they haven't announced anything yet. I think many of us assume they're going to continue the manga with a new arc after Daima. And there's a lot of speculation amongst fans. There's a lot of talk about how the reason as to why they haven't started up Super yet, manga-wise, is because Daima's storyline and the Demon Realm will have something to do with the next manga arc. And that certainly is possible. I discussed in numerous videos that prior to Toriyama's passing, there was some kind of plan where the events of Daima would factor into something later on in Super. Did not have any details. I still don't have any details. But when Toriyama passed away, I just wasn't sure if plans had changed. And unfortunately, the problem with Japan is that they don't talk a lot. It's not like how like the MCU is, where they like announce the next like 10 films and they actually tell the fans what's coming. Like Toei, Shueisha, and Capsule Corp now, who is apparently now involved in Dragon Ball officially, that's Akio's group, they haven't said anything officially as of yet about like a timeline of things to come. But what's surprising is, and I'm going to translate these numbers into US currency to make it easier for you to understand. So Dragon Ball is at the top with 123 million. That's in 3 months, followed by One Piece at 119 million. Now that's USD converted from yen. One Piece is like the number one priority right now for Shueisha and Toei because that story is still ongoing. Oda is still writing it. As many of you One Piece fans know, there's going to be a movie that's going to be coming out sometime in the next couple of years. I'm not a One Piece news channel, so I can't say for certain the dates on any of this. This is just stuff I've heard. But, you know, One Piece has really been pushed, but yet Dragon Ball is still doing very well. And that's shocking to me because Daima has not connected with a lot of people, and I understand why. And even those that it did connect with are maybe a bit disenfranchised with the last few episodes. You know, even I've talked about how there's been some pacing issues and there's been some things about Daima that I have not enjoyed, you know, in the last few episodes. It felt like after episode 12, it sort of just, it's kind of peaked there, and now it's kind of not as good, but we are about to hit the final 4 episodes, starting with this Friday's episode 17. So hopefully they're going to stick the landing, because it really does need to happen. But Dragon Ball is still doing well. Now, if you were to ask me, well, what is the success? Here's what you have to understand about these numbers. I need to make this very clear to you guys. This is Toei Animation's figures. This is not Shueisha, which means that this is not factoring in any money that the Dragon Ball manga volumes have given. This is not factoring in anything with the video games, because that would be under Bandai's fiscal numbers. Like, because Bandai is the company that is sort of the head of the video game universe. Even the card games, Bandai, it's not obviously not just Bandai, but Bandai, when they put out their figures, that's where we kind of know, like, where the merchandise is at. And this is just Toei, which means that this is purely riding on anime things, anime products, and licensing from Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima, meaning whether it be international licenses for different dubs, whether it be whatever they made for the 3-episode dub screening, which I don't think was even that much money, to be honest with you. From whatever licensing agreements and negotiations and deals were made between Toei and their international partners. That's what this is. It's not anything else. So it's kind of shocking to see Dragon Ball at the top, because I was not expecting that. There has not been any new Dragon Ball anime until Daima since Superhero. And that's a 2 years ago is when Superhero came out. 3 years ago now in 2025. So the numbers are startling to me, that even older stuff that many of us have already seen is still being watched, is still being, I guess the content is still being served to people. What this tells me is that, and it's mind-boggling, people are still hungry for more Dragon Ball. These numbers prove without a shadow of a doubt that people are still hungry for Dragon Ball, and I don't know if Daima's the answer. I know I've talked about this before. What Daima's doing is not necessarily something I would have done if I were in charge, but they're trying something, and there's a lot of backstory about why Daima's happening. I've done a whole video as to why Daima exists and why Super has not come back. I've done a whole video on that multiple times. I've talked about it, but if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link right at the end of this video on your screen, and you can watch that to know all the details about what's been going on with that. But the point is that people want more Dragon Ball. They want more movies. They want more anime. They want, obviously, a lot of us want more manga to see where the story goes. And it really shows just the absolute, it's mind-boggling that these companies have not, said we need to give the people more of what they want so we can make more money. It's logically baffling. It's baffling to me. And I know some people have the opinion that, well, Dragon Ball fans will watch whatever. They don't need to produce any new stuff because people are eating up the old stuff, which is what these numbers would tell you. But these numbers are not going to last forever. Is Dragon Ball going to eventually just bottom out before Toei and Shueisha decide, oh, we should make more? You know what I mean? It's so weird. And I did address the rumors of another Dragon Ball movie down the pipeline in a couple videos. I'll leave a link to those as well. But again, that there's been no announcement of it. You would think that they would at least, if there was something else coming, logically, if any of us were in charge, we would tell the people ahead of time, but they seem to wait. Like for example, Dragon Ball Daima, when it was called Magic, the leakers had talked about this. I talked about this in 2022, and it wasn't even announced until 2023. You know what I'm saying? And so it takes them a year. So if they're going to wait until later this year to announce something, it's just so bizarre. But at the very least, I would hope that the manga continues to see what happens next. There's still some unresolved story threads there. And I have an idea of where they may go, and I might do a video about that coming very soon. So that's my video for today. Check out the videos on your screen right now. I'll catch you guys this Friday for Daima. And hopefully we'll get a good episode, and hopefully the final arc will be solid. Take care of yourself. Love you guys. See you then.